Lewis, yeah, we've lost 1-0 City at home, Man City at home. I don't think it was actually that bad, but I'd love to know what you think. What are your thoughts on what you've seen overall?
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. It wasn't as bad as we thought it would be. We thought we were going to get whitewashed by like the first 20 minutes or something. But you could still see the golfing class through a lot of the game, and I also think as well the fact we're coming out of a 1-0 loss and we're thinking, you know what, it wasn't that bad. It also shows how far we've sunk too. As a team, fair play to Potter for the way he set us up. I thought defensively we were a lot more solid than I thought we were going to be. Playing Koulibaly on the other side on the left with Cucurella I think was a lot smarter from him. And it got the best out of both Silva. It got a much better game out of Koulibaly than anything I've seen. And I think it helped us be able to control and try and transition a little bit better, because City always play a high line, and defensively they haven't been as sound as they usually are in past seasons, and we saw that in this game because we were a lot better than we initially thought we were, and it meant we were able to push the ball forward more and make more chances. We made a lot more chances in that first half than I actually thought we were even going to do. So yeah, there is some slight positives to take from it, but I also don't think we're getting afforded that space from a lot of teams in the Premier League. So I can't even jump to conclusions off that and think, you know what, it's a positive step forward. I think we had a game like that because of how confident City play. Because they're always happy to play 11 men in our own box and just try and dominate and play possession football. And because they're not really the same City as before, it didn't really work out as well. We were able to try and capitalise. But still a golfing class. We still struggled against the press. It was a case of City just being endlessly persistent and us again being a first half team. Second half team, we came out a lot worse. They were just pamming us in our box. We couldn't get out, and eventually a goal was coming. Poor individual error from Kepa. Like, he should have at least tried to dive for it. I don't know what he did. He went down on one knee and let the ball go right past him. It was weird. I don't get it. But that's the difference between us at that level. Regardless, we're still 10 points off fourth. You could say it's a better performance, but it still doesn't help us in the long run. I guess the only good thing is, like you said, it's not 1-0.
You mean it was 1-0?
I mean, it's only 1-0, my bad.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I just think, I have to say, I really, really don't understand why in games like today, because people are going to criticise Potter, that's just the nature of our fan base. I just think he's got so much. He's just so unlucky. I mean, in the first 20 minutes, we had two players coming off injured, Sterling and Pulisic, and then he had to take Aubameyang off once he'd already subbed him on. So I'm just thinking to myself, surely this isn't a Potter problem when he's got such a lack of options.
I don't really look at this as a Potter. I think anyone who does has just a serious Potter out agenda that I think they're way too early into. The substitutions, the Aubameyang one was a bit weird, but to be honest, he wasn't really doing anything in the game anyway. I still say, Havertz again just completely ignored Aubameyang throughout the first half, and he was in brilliant positions, and he was just playing sideways passes. Maybe if he gets one of those chances, a different story, just like the Arsenal game. But other than that, the substitutions, half of them were forced. Like you said, the Pulisic injury, the Sterling injury. We can't really blame Potter for that. The way we set up in the first half, we set up well. They were barely getting through us. They were barely getting any clear-cut chances. And that was enabling us to be able to transition on them too. The problem isn't Potter. The problem is just City are better than us. Even if they aren't the same City of the last few seasons, they're still levels clear of us. And to be honest, we ain't confident facing anybody. The last game against Forest, the only thing is we played worse against Forest than we did against City. But the bar's in hell.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to go back to one thing you were saying. Let's talk about Havertz's performance.
It was better. It was better than the Forest game. I think people are really jumping to conclusions because I saw a lot of people saying it was amazing and all of that. I didn't think it was that.
Hang on a sec. No. You think Havertz was good today?
No. I think defensively he did his job the same way the whole team did as a unit. There was one good pass to Chukwuemeka there. But like we said as well, there was also the tunnel vision. There was also the complete ignoring of Aubameyang. Everyone is gunning for Aubameyang, saying he's one of the worst signs we've ever made. We don't feed him nothing. And it's chances in the first half, there was one place where Aubameyang was in 20 yards of space and Havertz isn't even looking at him. He's looking on the right-hand side to try and pass it to the fullback. It's things like this that we need to cut out of our game because in the middle, we are not creative at all. All we know is spray the ball out to the wings and try and make something from there. We need to try and play the ball through the middle more. But in terms of Havertz's performances, I'll say it was better than Forest, but I'm still going to say I want to see a lot more from him.
I think it was shocking, personally. I mean, I have to say I've been very, very relaxed when it comes to Havertz, and I just saw nothing creatively. Nothing. I didn't see a shot. I didn't see really many key passes. I didn't see him move the ball quickly. I saw him pass backwards. For me, after seeing that, what else can we do? That's all we have. That's the thing that's what baffles me. That is the best we have.
I've been saying that all season though. So it's good to see that you're noticing it as well now. But this game, the only thing I'll give him is that was a nice pass to Chukwuemeka that hit the post. Other than that, I think he did well with the fact that we played the high line against City. Like we always say, Havertz does well when he plays against high lines. But I still needed to see a lot more from him. I thought when he got the ball, half the time it is just backwards and sideways passes, and people can say, oh, he's controlling the tempo of the game, but with the same breath you'll cuss Jorginho for doing the same thing from a deeper position. So I don't even want to hear it. When you're a forward, I want to see at least you trying to play the ball forward a little bit, and it wasn't enough for me, especially against a high line like that. That was my only problem. Other than that, I'll still say I think it was a better performance than against Forest. But I'm not going to jump to conclusions of it and think, oh, we've got Kai Havertz back, this is the position you need to play him in. Because I've seen numerous amount of times him get the ball and just completely ignore who's around him. It's a completely different thing to Mount. Mount gets criticised because he overhits everything. Havertz just barely makes the pass. He's got tunnel vision half the time. That's his biggest issue if he wants to even make it as a 10. As a 9, I've already said I'm finished with him. It don't work for us.
What about Hakim Ziyech? Because I actually think he had a decent first half. I think he was one of the players who was actually trying to make things happen. And then in the second half, it just gradually got worse.
I think overall it was frustrating for him. There was some decent drives forward and everything, but I think City handled him pretty well, to be honest. Second half, again, it got a little bit more frustrating, but then we had even less chances to push the ball forward. Didn't stand out to me. Him and Havertz didn't really stand out to me the most. It was more Kovacic and Zakaria, Koulibaly, I was going to say Cucurella defensively until that second half, but then it just completely fell off. It's not really a lot there. I would have said Kepa before the goal, but then that literally cost us the game. But these are the differences between us and a team that's in the top 4. There's too many individual mistakes, or there's too many players lacking, and that's why we're nowhere near top 4, and we're not going to get near top 4. Things are going to get worse before it gets better. I've kept saying it, but at the very least, we went down swinging, I guess, because I thought we were just going to come here and get absolutely bammed, and we didn't. We managed to hold on. We managed to at least make a couple chances. It was a bit unlucky with the Chukwuemeka shot that hit the post. The Silva one, even though you could say it was just a shocking Havertz touch that managed to find him. There's a case of millimetres with us all the time. It's a difference between us, Man City, basically everyone in the top 10.
Just on the formation with the back 4, I do think that we're going to lose more games playing that formation in the short term, but as a long-term process, do you think it's best to just stick with that and just try and build on that formation?
Yeah, it's what Potter wants to stick with in the long term, so we might as well just keep running with it. I thought we were a lot better in this sort of game, but I feel like the players turned up a little bit more for it. They didn't come in, they weren't intimidated by Manchester City, which I actually thought we would be. And we looked a lot better as a result of that. But our biggest issue is playing games in the second half, playing games after 30 minutes. We only seem to play at our best for a certain period of time, and we're never able to sustain it for a full 90. That's what constantly kills us.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. This is why I think it's more of a mentality issue. Sometimes we get the goal and we're complacent, but in this game we didn't even get the goal. I think it was just more of a case of, yes, we went into half-time without conceding. And then maybe we fall off a little bit after that. But this game, I think it's a little bit more understanding just because the nature of the opposition we're playing. We're playing the Premier League champions. Nobody came into this game thinking of a win. And we managed to come out of it not looking as bad as we've done in the last 4 months. Maybe that's a positive, maybe not. Says more about the level that we're at this season, but it's whatever.